excited that you're here. It is Tuesday night, and we are ready to share this entire experience and what this business has done for our lives. I'm joined with Stephanie and Erica and Rebecca. They're some of the most amazing coaches on my team, and they have all come into this business in the past year. And I usually do these sneak peeks alone. They usually do their own sneak peeks. So we're like, you know what? Why don't we all come together, share what this business has done, not just for me, for her, for down here, wherever we all are, for every single one of us, and how it's transformed our lives. Because I remember, and I know that they can probably back me up on this, being in a coach sneak peek. I remember that first time this has been introduced to me, and I was sitting there thinking, I have no freaking clue what to expect. I don't know what's going to come out of this, but I want you to know that we're not in the business of convincing. If you want to be here, if something you hear tonight inspires you, I encourage you to take action. The best advice that I ever got when it came to these types of calls and these types of things is, if something you hear resonates with you and you can't stop thinking about it, then it's probably for you. And our team is growing so fast. As you guys may know, I am the founder of Team Simply Beautiful. These amazing coaches are on my team. We are in the top 200 in the company, a 2017 elite team, and we are on track to doing it again this year, growing rapidly, still in the top 200, and it's been an absolutely incredible journey, and so many coaches have joined our team in the past 6 months, and it is just continuing to go upward. So you're about to be a person extremely special, and news just came out that we are going international this fall. So you're coming in at a really great time, because Beachbody is not just expanding here in the United States and up in Canada. We're now going overseas to the UK, which is going to bring in a huge new group of people that you are going to be able to help not only get health and fitness results, but start a business just like we have and just like you can too. So the way this is going to work today is I'm going to kick this thing off. I'm going to share a little bit about my story. I'm going to pass it over to Erica, who will then bounce it down to Stephanie, and Rebecca is going to finish us off. We have so much in store for you. I'm talking about how people have gotten out of credit card debt, how people have made this work while working full-time jobs. People have had insane weight loss transformations, planning a wedding, saving money. It has been a whirlwind for all of us. We hope tonight that we can inspire you in some way, shape, or form. So I'm going to kick this thing off and share my story, and then we will pass it on to the rest of them, and we'll close this up and tell you what your next steps are. So sit back and enjoy this. We're so excited that you're here. All right, guys, so let's get this show on the road. I am so excited to kick this thing off. And before I pass it on to my coaches, for those of you that don't know who I am, I'm Kelsey Smith. I am a 5-star diamond 2017 elite coach. I've been coaching in this business for 3 years now. And while it all looks good on paper, it started off the same way that a lot of you guys might be going through right now. I mean, life hasn't always been roses and daisies, and I want to make sure that people always, if they're going to see my successes in this thing, which took time, I also want them to know kind of how it started for me. So I want to get this thing kicked off by kind of sharing my story with you and sharing what coaching has done for my life, what Team Beachbody has done for my life, because it honestly has been a whirlwind. It has been an absolute whirlwind of 3 years. To say it lightly, I was drowning. I was drowning in a corporate job as a TV reporter. It paid me less than minimum wage, and I was absolutely miserable. I was working at a bar on the side for extra money, and as you guys can probably imagine, being a news reporter, being on television, and then working at a bar at the same time is probably not the most ideal type of thing. But I had to do what I had to do to make ends meet, because I was barely affording payments. And because of this, because of the job that I was in, and as you guys can imagine, news is not a happy job. You're forced to be surrounded by a lot of negativity a lot, and it started playing a role in my life and in my personal life. And before I knew it, I'm broke because I'm making less than minimum wage after taxes. I'm in a very serious depression, and as if any of you have suffered from that before, you know it kind of comes and goes as it pleases. And the only thing that was helping me get through this really hard time was alcohol and stress eating, and ironically enough, spending countless hours at the gym. So as you can imagine, due to that eating and drinking, I was never seeing results. And my depression was constantly being magnified because of the drinking. And I will honestly say that being 21 years old and drinking as much as I did, it wasn't just a newly 21. It was not good. I mean, you shouldn't be drinking yourself to sleep. And I'll never forget the time that I got a $600 electric bill in the mail, and it was because I wanted to turn my heater on, and I was in this one-bedroom crappy apartment, and I turned my heat off in the middle of a West Virginia winter, and I remember being under like 3 blankets and countless hoodies, and just wondering kind of how my life got there. And I was choosing between food and going home to see my family, and it was just looking back on that time in my life, it's hard. So I was just looking for different when I stumbled across Beachbody. I wanted something that was going to be different. I was tired of living paycheck to paycheck. I was tired of being miserable, and honestly, I was just tired of being so sad all the time. I found out about these posts. I found out about these shakes and workout programs from a post that I stumbled across on social media, just probably like you guys might have done. And she just looked so happy. I'll never forget my coach just looking so happy in her post, and I was like, I want that. I just want something like that. And I actually went behind her back at first to purchase my programs. I didn't think Shakeology was worth it. I didn't want to spend $140 on a protein shake. And obviously now I know it's not a protein shake, but at the time, I went behind her back, and I went onto Beachbody's website, and I bought the 21-day fix on my own, and I felt that I could do it on my own. I didn't need a coach. I didn't need Shakeology. I could do this all on my own. And I did well. I will say that I did well, but I was missing the community, and I wasn't getting the results I should have been getting because I wasn't drinking Shakeology. But I did, for the first time in my life, felt like I had control over something, and I felt passionate about something. Like seeing other people respond to the way that I was feeling and acting, like that's exactly what I needed. And even though I had a long way to go in my journey and I was just beginning, like I felt happy for the first time, and I wanted more of it. I was posting about it all the time without realizing, and I was sharing all the time, and I realized, I said, you know what, like the coach reached out and she said, hey, you should just coach, you're already doing it. And I had every objection in the world, guys. I was a work in progress, and if you guys can relate to this, please say that, because I know that a lot of you are probably dealing with this right now. I was a work in progress. I was not where I wanted to be in my health and fitness journey. I never posted on social media, believe it or not. I was terrified to do that. I did not have the time to do it. I honestly could not afford Shakeology every single month. But my coach said something to me that changed my life, and I always say this every time I talk about this opportunity because it truly did. She goes, nobody wants perfect. Nobody wants a perfect coach. And if you can help several people a month get started and feel as good as you do, your Shakeology is going to be covered. And all you have to do is just worry about, still focusing on you and still focusing on your journey. This is the best type of accountability because you'll never let yourself down if you feel like you're going to let somebody else down, right? And I knew that if I could help one person that was as depressed and anxious and anxiety ridden as I was, feel better about themselves, I knew that this was going to be worth it. And so I said yes. And that yes has changed my life in so many ways. I came into this business because I wanted my Shakeology paid for. And if you would have told me back in 2014 that my Shakeology, I never would have ever purchased a bag of Shakeology for me or my husband, that I would be at the top of the company, representing a badass team, that I would have paid off a car, that I would have left my job that made me absolutely miserable, that I would be paying off a debt, traveling whenever I want to travel. I would not have believed you. But my vision has become so clear for what I want in my life now, and it is rude and selfish of me to not share it with other people, to not share it with you, because this business is insane, and it can change your life. And guys, here's the thing about this business is, yes, I'm telling you the successes and how far I've come, but it did not come without hard work. It did not come without hard work and determination and just wanting to change my life in some way, shape, or form. And I realized that this was everything that I needed and so much more. And I said at the beginning of this call, like, if something you hear tonight resonates with you, like, this is for you. And you're going to be hearing from the other girls very shortly about how this has changed their life. But for me, this gave me my life. I was sitting at a leadership conference back in February, and I was sitting there, and they put up a picture. They're talking about how the next 5 years of your life are going to pass by, whether you do something with this or not, whether you decide to say yes tonight or not. The next 5 years are going to pass by regardless. But don't you want to live a life that you're proud of, that you're excited about? And they put up this picture on this big screen of me and my husband. And I looked up at it, and it was a picture that they took of us on our honeymoon, that we got taken on our honeymoon. And I never looked at that picture as something that resembled that until that moment when I realized that, wow, this gave me my life. It not just gave me my life, but it gave my husband the life he gets to live today. And if I would have never said yes, there would be hundreds of people out there who never would have been introduced to this. The girls that you're about to hear from would never have been able to accomplish the stuff that they did because I would have said no. If I quit tomorrow, I would be impacting a lot of people. And that's not something I'm okay with living with, you know? This has changed my life. And I'm so obsessed with everything this business has to offer. And the girls, like I said, that you're about to hear from are just double confirmation that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I've made the best friends. Every time that we meet each other in person, it's pretty incredible how it feels like you've known each other forever. I still haven't met half of my team in person yet. I'm just really humbled. And I'm humbled that you're here to listen to it and to be willing to learn more. So with that said, I'm going to pass it over to Erica, who has been an incredible coach on my team, but has become a very dear friend of mine. Somebody that I met through a Facebook ad. And it's pretty incredible with what she has been able to accomplish in her life, but I'm going to let her tell you the rest. All right, Erica, go ahead, girl.
Thanks, Kels. Okay, so I'm super excited to get on here tonight and share with you all about my journey a little bit and what Beachbody has done for me. So a little over a year ago now, it feels like just yesterday, I actually was just scrolling on Facebook, and I ran across a cute little picture of these color containers and a pretty diamond and a sweating for the wedding ad, and I was like, oh, cute. I didn't think anything of it. I don't even know that I read it, to be honest. I just liked it. And Kelsey reached out to me and talked to me about Beachbody. I was in a really bad place, but I needed to sweat for my wedding. I bought my wedding dress a size too small, and it wasn't going to fit if I didn't do anything. And honestly, in the time of buying my dress till when I was talking to Kelsey in December, I had only gained weight. So I was desperate. I needed help, but I wasn't necessarily ready to hear that I needed help. And I did not have the funds to say yes. I was super excited. I loved to hear what she said, but I knew I couldn't afford it. So I told her no 3 times. So if you're one of those people, that's okay. There's still hope. So I just knew I couldn't afford it. I was currently a teacher's assistant. So if you don't know, that's not a lot of funds coming in. My husband had just finished, my fiance at the time, had just finished student teaching and wasn't making any money. We had a credit card debt out the whatever. And I had about $150 left on my credit card to max it. I told her no 3 times at least. And one day when I was about to say yes, I had gotten a card for Christmas and it had like $300 cash in it. And I was like, oh my gosh, well, 1, how did I get that much money? And 2, I knew exactly where I wanted to spend it, even though it probably should have gone for groceries. I was like super excited and I didn't even care. I was going to tell Kelsey yes. We walked in our house and I was like, it's really cold. I don't understand what's going on. December. It's right after Christmas, and our heater had gone out. So it cost us, weirdly, exactly what I had. I literally opened the card to hand the guy all of my cash to pay for our heater. So of course, I again had to say no. Until one day I just woke up and I was like, today's the day. It happened to be December 28th. I knew it. Like, I had that feeling and I was like, you know what, Kels, I'm doing it. Like, today's the day. I don't know why, but I'm going to say yes. And I said yes. I maxed my credit card out. And at the time, I thought it was the silliest thing I ever did. I don't know why I did it. I don't know why I got that feeling, but I did it. And I made it my mission to make sure I paid that amount off. I had to. And just by helping 3 other people start their journey, I did that. But then every month, I'm a games person. Like, I like a challenge. And my challenge to myself was I knew I couldn't get my next bag of Shakeology if I didn't help 3 people. So I helped 3 people. And then I bumped that to at least 5 people a month. I will not end a month without that. And not a salesy type way, as in, I need to change 5 lives this month because I knew I had to do it to be able to keep my personal journey going. And then there came the time when I did it. I did it for multiple months in a row. I set up my wedding. My wedding dress was too big. It was awesome. But then the wedding was over. It would have been really easy to walk away at that point in time. I contemplated it. After going on honeymoon and eating cruise food for a week, and I was like, oh, it's great. I don't really want to do that again. But then I got back into the community. The community kept me in. I'm so thankful for that because, you know how I told you I maxed my credit card? After getting back into this community, going to our summit trip where that's a whole nother call because it's an amazing trip. You learn so much and you really feel that community out. After getting back from that, I set really big goals for myself to become credit card debt free. In that year of being a teacher's assistant, luckily my husband got to sub a little towards the end of that year. We were running very low on funds. We had a lot of credit card debt. We did our wedding ourselves, with that debt, and it just added up and added up. But I made a goal for this calendar year for 2017 to be credit card debt free. And because of this opportunity, I got to do it right away. Like, it happened. Now I have to think here. I didn't write these numbers down, but it happened all within 4 months. 4 months. It was actually 3-ish. I made my last payment and I didn't realize that I hit minimum payment because I was so used to hitting minimum payment because that's all I could do that I ended up having to pay a little more later. But I paid them off, and $7,000 of credit card debt in 3 months I could make the payments because of this opportunity. Now, I do have to put a little disclaimer in there. Beachbody doesn't guarantee any type of success. It's all hard work. But I guarantee if you put your heart into these trainings that we're going to provide for you, and you let this community lift you up daily, your personal journey is going to skyrocket. I've lost 30 pounds due to this opportunity, but I let the community help me. I didn't say today's the day, I don't want to do it. I let them drive me in the business, my personal journey, personal development. Everything is so much different because of this opportunity. But to think that I would be credit card debt free after maxing my credit card for this is kind of crazy to say. But now I just get to set bigger and bigger and bigger goals because of this. So if debt is what's holding you back, if you think that you can't coach or you can't commit to the monthly thing because you don't have the money, I was that girl too. So I hope my story can kind of show you that you can do it if you put your heart into it. If you just sign up and you're like, oh, I'm going to become credit card debt free, well, that's not going to happen. But if you truly go all in and you let us help you and you put out your part of it, really big things can happen. This team is like family to me. I'm so thankful for each and every one of them. Most of them I've only met in this Zoom box right here. And I can't wait to meet them at Summit this year. But that feeling of meeting them in person, like when I met Kelsey last year at Summit, I thought, oh, it's going to be like meeting a stranger. I've never met her in person. But like, I walked up and of course I cried. I'm very emotional. But so I walked up and it was like, hey, friend, we talk every day. Like, this is great. So the community, I know I'm repeating myself with that, but it's so worth it. And it's so awesome to have these people all the time, every day, whenever you're down, they're there to pull you up. So I really hope that we can pull you up. And I'm really excited because we get to have success partners in this business. And I get to pass it on now to my success partner, Stephanie, and she's going to share her story with you. So take it away, Steph.
Hey guys, I'm Stephanie. We've got to hear some amazing stories tonight from both Erica and Kelsey, and I just wanted to come in here and be able to share my story with you as well. And I always like to start it with this because I think that it can relate to a lot of people, and it's always nice to know that we all come from different backgrounds. So I grew up a competitive athlete. I was a figure skater for 14 years before I injured my back. I played softball, played lacrosse, always worked out with personal trainers. So for me, I was always, like, I guess, physically fit, I would say. But it wasn't until I got engaged about a year and a half ago where I realized that things had gotten out of control. At that time, I had moved a couple of times. I was constantly in between personal trainers, so I was having a hard time finding one and then dropping one and then finding one again. And I moved away from my family. I moved in with my then boyfriend at the time. And I just realized that as time went on, I started gaining more and more weight. And, you know, it's like one of those relationships when you get really comfortable, you don't start to notice it much. And that's how I was. I didn't really start to notice it much until a couple months after my engagement. My best friend was engaged at the time, and she was getting married last summer. And in about April, end of April, beginning of May, maybe, we were at her wedding shower. And having, of course, the time of my life, I'm super excited. My best friend's getting married, and then we take all of these pictures. And I remember looking back and seeing these pictures and being mortified. I thought that I ruined her day. I hated the way I looked. I felt like people were staring at me. I had always had a little bit of issues with self-confidence growing up. And so seeing these pictures and noticing that, I was just devastated. I didn't know what to do. And it was in that moment that I told myself, like, I will not let this happen. This is not the way I will look for my wedding. And let me just say, I'm getting married this weekend. So I've successfully reached the point, or am happy with where I am. So I'm very excited. But I remember, like, I didn't want to be the bride that hated the way her pictures looked or was super uncomfortable with herself. And so I told myself that I'd do whatever it took to be happy. And it happened to be that a couple of weeks later, I was laying in bed and I saw a post from Kelsey about joining Beachbody, and I reached out right away and I instantly signed up. I was not a hard sell, so to say. She told me everything, told me about the community, and I was in for it. I took it full force, and I knew that this could help me, and I knew if I put my heart and soul into it and really tried that I could do this. And so I joined in May, and I stuck with the groups, loved the accountability groups. I was always in there cheering other people on. Everyone always considered me like a motivator growing up. So for me, it's just a natural feeling. I guess I'm in there, and I love cheering people on. I love, being happy for people for their accomplishments. Just love lifting people's spirits up. And so I was in there every day and commenting on things. And I remember Kelsey coming to me and just, do you want to be a Beachbody coach? And I remember sitting back and thinking, I don't think I have time for this. I don't think I know enough people. How do I do this? I don't want to sound salesy. And it's funny looking back on it now, because you do know people. You're not coming off salesy. We teach you not to do that. I don't want you to sell to people. And you know what? No one wants a perfect coach. So I wasn't at my ideal weight then. I'm not at my perfect weight now, but I'm working on me every day. And that's what people want in a coach. And so I remember after a couple of months, Kelsey had asked me, and then all of a sudden I just was like, you know what, I'm ready. And I texted Kelsey and I told her, I was like, I am ready to be a Beachbody coach. Like, let's do this. And I remember coming in and thinking, okay, if I can become a coach, I can motivate other people, but motivating other people will also motivate myself. I knew if someone expected me to show up each day, that I had to do it. I had to wake up and do my workout. I had to wake up and drink my shake. And to be honest, guys, that was one of the first reasons that I decided to become a coach, because I wanted that extra push and that extra motivation to do this. And I knew becoming a coach would get me there. So that's exactly what I did. And you sit down and you think, okay, like as I'm doing this, like what do I want to accomplish with being a Beachbody coach? Like, why am I really here? And the more and more I thought about it, my fiance makes double the income than I do. And I knew going into this marriage, I didn't want that to always be the case. Like I wanted to contribute on our end of this relationship. And I knew that Beachbody could help me with that. And, there's all the shiny objects and everything like that we don't like to get all caught up in, but, they happen. And income is definitely a big factor, and it's a big motivator for being here as being a Beachbody coach. And I remember just thinking, like, if I could just make a little extra money and we can go out to dinner on me, I could make just a little extra money and we can go do something fun on me. And then we got to thinking about the wedding. And, if we could have just a little extra money for the wedding, imagine how amazing that would be. If we could have just a little extra money for the honeymoon, like we could feel really comfortable. And guys, I'm really, really excited. Like I said, I get married this weekend and we have an extra $3,500 to bring on our honeymoon thanks to Beachbody. And I never would have expected that. I never thought that that would have been possible, but I did it because of Beachbody. And don't get me wrong, it's not always easy. I didn't just sit down and one day it all came to me. It's hard work, but if you're willing to put in the work, then the reward is amazing. And to be able to sit here and know that I'm a few days away from my wedding and I can go on my honeymoon and not stress and have that extra money is a great feeling. And I'm going to come home from that honeymoon. And guys, my business is going to have built while I was on that honeymoon because that's what I've been doing. And I'm going to come home and that income's going to continue to build. And as I sit here and I think about it moving forward, like my idea has kind of changed. I work full time. So for all of you that work full time, like there's other of us that work full time, and I love my job. I work 8:30 to 5, and I work at a desk job, and I do get to spend a lot of time outside because I work for a nonprofit. But honestly, I've been having moments where it's like I don't want to work at a desk job the rest of my life. And don't get me wrong, I love it for right now, but I don't want to be there the rest of my life. And so the more I think about it, I hope in the future that I can have kids and stay at home with them and use Beachbody as my income to be at home. Like, you can dream so big with this organization and you can attack it and go for what you really want. You just have to be driven, and you have to understand that, like, we help you, we give you the materials that you need, and we're there to support you. We're there to be your coach, but we're also there to be your friend. I've met some of my best friends through this organization, and that's something that I will never take for granted. And that's the one thing that I really like to stress is, it's not always about the workout and the shake and the money, but the community that you get when you decide to make this commitment is unbelievable. And if this is a community that you feel like you just need to be a part of and you can't stop thinking about it, then to me, that is always a reminder that you should just go for it. And so really, guys, just go for it. That's all I have to say. And I'm going to toss it over to Rebecca because Rebecca has an amazing story for you guys, and I'm really excited to hear her. So take it away, Rebecca.
All right. Hey, everybody. I am so excited to talk to you guys tonight. This is just one of my favorite things to talk about because I love telling people how I got started, because it's not your typical, I want to make money, I want to be a coach, or, I'm going all in from the get-go. It wasn't anything like that, guys. I know how you feel. You might be sitting there and you're nervous and, you're not sure if this is for you, and you're not the posting type, you're not at where you want to be on your journey, all that stuff. And I can tell you, I had the same reservations. I had the same feeling when I first started, that nobody wants to listen to what I have to say. I'm not a fitness expert. And guys, you're not supposed to be. That's the beauty of this. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit of my story before I get into how I became a coach, because I think it's important for you guys to hear that. So I first started my Beachbody journey in October of 2015. I saw an infomercial on TV, and I was at my wit's end. I had just found out that I weighed as much as my boyfriend, who fiance now, but who, he has a football player body. He's a broad, muscular guy, and I weighed as much as he did, 225 pounds. And that, it's hard for me to say still to this day, but that's a blessing in disguise, because that's what I needed. I needed that to be able to kickstart this, and to be able for that switch to go off, to say, I need to change. I've tried the pills. I've tried the weight loss shakes. I've tried, you name it, I've tried it. The Special K diet, all of those things that aren't good and that aren't healthy and that don't work, I've tried. And I thought that was it for me. I thought that I was supposed to be like this. I thought that this was the only thing that I could, I just needed to get over it and live with it. And then that's when I saw that commercial, and I instantly called. I did the 3 payments. And I cannot express to you the feeling that I had when I got my first results after the first round. I absolutely was in love. From then I went on and I did other programs, and, I kept going back to my coach, Kelsey, and saying, okay, what can I do next? What can I do next? Like, I love this. Here's my, I was sharing my transformation with her as I went. And not only was I sharing it with her, but I was also sharing it with other people. And I didn't even realize it. I was coaching without being a coach. And, at work, I would see people and they would ask me what I've been doing, and I was telling them in depth, and telling them that they should go and do it, and, telling them about Shakeology, and talking about how amazing this opportunity is, and, all of this stuff that coaches do every day. And, I gave my 21-day fix program away along with containers. It's just, and Kelsey, my coach, was like, why aren't you a coach? Like, you need to do this. Like, you're already doing it. Just go all in and do it. And I said no. As I said no about 5 times. I was not into it. I was not interested. I had all the reservations that I'm sure is going through your mind right now. I was in school. I had 2 part-time jobs. How was I supposed to juggle that along with my part-time jobs, along with the class load? I was busy. I didn't have time, or I didn't think I had time. But then one day, she asked me again for like the 5th time, and I was talking to Josh, and he said, what do you have to lose? You're already doing the workouts. You're already drinking the Shakeology. What do you have to lose? And that's when I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to give it my all, and I'm going to see where it goes. It might not work out, and you know what? I'll be okay with that. But if it does, then that'll be great too. So I went all in. Before I knew it, I was able to quit my part-time job at home. So I had a part-time job at home where I would travel back and forth from Clarion, which is 2 hours from where I live now. And I would work on the weekend. So basically that would pay for my gas back and forth. I had a job at the daycare up at school that I worked 5 days a week there, and I was on call. So if someone would call off, I would be the first person they would hit up, and I'd feel obligated to go in. So I was doing that on top of classes, on top of tests, on top of homework, on top of projects. I was just drowning in work. And like I said, I got that first paycheck, that second paycheck, that third paycheck. And it was never about money for me. I need to tell you that right now. It was never about money. I never had intentions of quitting any jobs. It was just something extra to do because I loved it. But when I saw that my income from Beachbody after 2 or 3 weeks or 4 weeks surpassed what I was making at the ice cream parlor, I knew that I didn't need that job anymore. So I quit. And then I kept, getting those paychecks from Beachbody, and I kept helping people, and it just filled my cup. And, soon after that, I surpassed my daycare income. So now not only did I surpass my services, but now my daycare. I didn't need those jobs anymore. I didn't need that extra stress anymore. So then I was able to quit that job. And that was such such an overwhelming feeling to be able to be free from a punch-in time clock. And to this day, a year and a couple months later, I have not had to answer to a boss. I have not had to ask for a weekend off. I don't have to work on holidays. I don't have to feel guilty when someone asks me to come into work. I do it on my terms, and I do it because I love it. I do it because it's so fulfilling helping other people. So that, I mean, it's so incredible that we get this opportunity to share what we're doing already, what you guys are doing already. We get to share it to the world. We get to, spread this movement. We're ending the trend of obesity, and we're doing it the right way. That's the most important part, and we get rewarded from that. There's so many benefits for being a coach. It's just unreal that I get to wake up every day and know that I get to help people. I know that, it's on my terms. It's a half hour a day. It's whenever I want it to be, however long I want it to be. And I'm growing as I'm doing it. So it is so incredible. And I'm so, so thankful that I said yes. I am so thankful, and I don't regret one day of it, and I don't plan on ever stopping, because this is something that I'm passionate about. This is something that I can do, and like I said, I would not have graduated 2 weeks ago with my master's degree if it weren't for this opportunity, because I wouldn't have been able to keep up with the schoolwork. I wouldn't have been able to keep up with, the payments, the electricity, the cable bill, because I wasn't meeting what I needed to meet with my income from both of those jobs. And, it's just such an emotional feeling that if it weren't for my coach asking me, I wouldn't be here. And, that's so cool for you guys to be sitting here watching this. You were invited to see this. You were invited to hear what we had to say about how this has changed our lives. So that means that there's a part of you that your coach sees that has potential for this. And I'm just so, so excited to see, how this can change your life too.
For you, I hope that this is very beneficial for you, and just make sure you reach out to the coach that invited you to this group. And if you have any questions, feel free to post below or post in the page.
Guys, this is what Team Beachbody is about. It's about stories just like this, where you can be a teacher that makes this a side gig. You can pay for your wedding. You can quit part-time jobs. The success is not guaranteed, guys, but it is possible. It's possible if you do the hard work, and we're living proof of that. And we could have tonight sat down and gave you the business basics and told you how to do all the nitty-gritty stuff. But guys, that's what our trainings are for. We have training for you. We have everything in place for you, ready to go the moment you just say yes. And I hope that something you heard tonight from me, from Steph, from Erica, from Rebecca, I hope something you heard tonight inspired you. And if it did, I don't want you to wait. I don't want you to wait until the perfect time, because here's the thing, there's never going to be a perfect time. There's never going to be a better time than right now. We have incredible things coming up, and our team wants somebody like you, somebody that is ready to change the lives of other people, and somebody who has a dream to do something with their lives. And if that is you, then we want you. We want you on our team. So go ahead, just like Rebecca said, reach out to the coach that invited you to this call tonight. Don't wait until tomorrow. Tonight, set up a call with them, get on the phone, then you can ask all the business basics. They'll tell you about your first training. They'll get you a welcome email. We want to see you added to our team page tonight, or at least early tomorrow morning. So thank you guys so much for spending some time with us tonight, and we look forward to meeting you all soon.